Hi everybody, this is Mike. Today I have Blake with me here, and we're going to be talking about the February position report. This is the 7th position report of the 2022 crop year, so we're just past the halfway mark now. And this report, Blake, was really just fantastic, kind of all the way around.
I think very surprisingly in a very bullish position as far as the numbers.
Yeah, I think, we'll start first with your shipments. Shipments for the month were 23% up, driven predominantly by, China. They were up quadruple what they did last year. I think you could contribute a lot of the Chinese shipments to the reopening of China after COVID, the relaxed COVID policies. It's really interesting. I was kind of looking back at, what they had done in January, and China closed a 22 million pound gap from January to February to get them flat for the year. So China's really made up a lot of ground in the month of February, which is really encouraging. Hopefully we continue to see, further demand coming out of China. India was up 70% for the month. So I think you're seeing low prices really having an effect there. Some people would say, okay, is 70% gonna, kind of diminish a little bit of the demand? But it seems like India can really use 34 million pounds is what they ship. They could really use that, not a problem. So hopefully continue to see, a little bit more demand there. The interesting thing, if we just talk about in-shell, we have shipped now more in-shell from August to February than we did in the same time period last year. So we're up about 3-4% on our in-shell shipments globally with a smaller crop. So I think that's kind of a good look towards kind of what in-shell pricing could do.
And you would say what those markets are driven by consumption in India and or China?
Yeah, it's India and China, and they're, really price sensitive, right? So the lower the prices are, obviously you're going to start seeing more traction, and you're starting to see that Chinese response to some of these lower prices. Europe was really the only major market that kind of slipped up in the month of February. They were down 19%, but they're still up for the year. So
Okay.
I think you have kind of no real issues there at all.
What about domestic then?
Domestic, we set this was the best shipment month in the 2022 crop year for the domestic. They were up about 7.5%.
Wow. We're
still down year to date on the domestic market, about 5%, 5.5%. But you're starting to see, signs of recovery, at least in the shipments. You haven't really seen any real changes in retail pricing in North America, really, but at least you're starting to see the pull from us.
Okay.
The Middle East was up over 100%.
Wow.
In the month of February. They're up over 50% for the entire year, and still, actively inquiring about availability. So I think that's another really good sign. So shipments, they were up 23% for the month. For the entire crop year, August through February, we are up 5%.
Okay.
So we were kind of just playing around with some of the math and said if we basically match March through July of last year, that would be up 3% on our shipments from August to July. That would give us basically a carryout of about 650 million pounds. Which is a lot better than we had originally expected. Now kind of, does the industry continue to sell like we did last year? I think that's kind of to be seen, especially with all the bloom issues that we've had. But I think you're in a better position than you have been.
Yeah. So speaking of, we're talking about bloom issues. I guess we've talked about what we think we can have as crop receipts, and we're going to reduce that carrying. But what is our crop on the trees sizing up to be? I mean, we really are trying to answer that question today, and I know it's a little bit early.
Are you talking about 23?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the big question mark, right? I think that's what's kind of fueling the upward price movement because of California's hesitancy, just because it could be as low as who knows what, maybe less than 2. It could, we don't know. Right. But I think if you look at crop receipts that we're seeing on this position report was 2.52 billion pounds, which is down almost 13% from last year. So we dove into some of those numbers a little bit more by region. So the northern part of the valley was down, I think it was 47%.
Wow, that's significant.
Crop receipts. So kind of what we expected too, right? We thought, they're probably going to be down 50%. I mean, sure enough, that's where they are. The central part of the region, the central part of the state is down 3.5%.
Okay.
Kind of thought we'd see that be a little bit higher. And then the southern part of the region, which starts at Madera County south. Okay, so Madera County all the way down to Kern, they were down 9% so far on crop receipts. And you're pretty much over, right? I mean, you're going to have maybe a little bit of crop receipts trickle in here, but it's pretty much done.
And the crop estimate for 22 was
2.6 was the objective.
Okay.
You'd seen as high as 2.9, right? But that objective was 2.6. So it looks like you're not going to really hit 2.6. You know, again, you're at 2.52 today.
So moving forward, it seems like California's got a very good, strong chance of kind of seeing some movement in prices, moving the existing crop, reducing the carry-in, and you know, again, all questions are out there on what's the crop on the trees right now, but it seems like it's very favorable right now for California.
Yeah, I think we've worked our way out of a weak position into more of a solid position, and I think this position report we're seeing right now is going to probably solidify the price increases that we have seen, right? And now it's going to be, you know, what happens in the next 45 to 60 days. You're going to see another March position report come out beginning of April, which probably should be pretty good. You'll probably see the first estimate, Terra Nova. That'll start to kind of shape people's expectations. And then you're going to see a Land IQ acreage report as well in April, right? Which is kind of expected to show the total standing acres to decline faster than the last report we had seen. So it just feels like you're kind of setting yourself up for a trajectory of prices that are going to be going up more so than going down within the next 45 to 60 days. And we'll kind of see kind of how the buyers kind of respond to it. I think California is going to continue to be hesitant to really step in and do anything significant in terms of sales. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I think you know, it seems like it's a right time for growers to see a response in the pricing. I mean, it's been a long run in this marketing season since August. We've seen a downward trend in pricing every month, and so this is probably one of the quickest turnarounds that I can remember. I'm not sure in the market, so it's kind of exciting times for the growers, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's about, you know, where do you expect the price to go? I think today, you know, we were telling growers, hey, look, the average price probably back 30, 45 days ago was around $1.35, right? Now you're saying, okay, you know, it could be upwards of $1.60, something like that. You know, now, okay, where does it progress kind of from here, right? And I think that's all the unknowns. But,
And that's what we're looking forward to,
right,
for sure.
Right. So, you got anything else, Blake?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, guys, that's been Mike and Blake talking about the February position report. Thank you.